Alright, so hello everyone. Last time I did not talk because I was making sure that the quality was, appropriate and wasn't just utterly horrible and being trashed due to my frame rate and due to uploading at the same time, but everything turned out. So I'm playing The Witcher 2, and if you don't already know, I'm playing this with a few specific rulings. Basically, I've already gone through and played it before. For those of you who don't know what New Game Plus is, it means you've beat the game. What I've done is I've decided, alright, well, that was fine and all, but I didn't like the end game content because, it was much too easy for me because I just kind of breezed through, which, yes, was also on Deathmarch difficulty. So, what I'm doing is also to make it a bit more impactful because I spent hours agonizing over story choices. I'm running straight through Deathmarch, New Game Plus, which will make it so everything scales with you and nothing will ever be lower than your level. I'm not taking back any story decisions. I'm playing much harder Gwent because I found it was much too easy once you found a really cheap, one-upper deck that would just get power up into the hundreds or so. You've all probably seen them in YouTube videos or the like. And I'm also trying to do as many quests as possible, excluding the ones you just can't outright do because you'll cancel yourself off by completing certain quests. Like, say you have a crystal and you need to give it to X, Y, or Z. If you give it to someone else, then obviously you might cut off another quest entirely, or you just can't complete it unless you want to outright go back on what you said you'd do in the quest. On top of that, I'm not using Quen. I'm sure all of you know that Quen is very powerful in The Witcher 3, so it doesn't really... It basically makes the gameplay really simple once you get all of the upgrades, and until that point, it's kind of alright, and normally you don't block that much, so you can just use it for a bit of health, but it's not ultimately that powerful. But later on, as I am currently, it's much too powerful, and it kind of takes away from actually dodging and choosing when to land your blows, because you just lose all your health, and then you pop up a shield, and you'll basically regenerate it when everyone hits you, so it's just not very fun, not very intuitive, and I decided to opt that out. So I'm going to be starting up here, and to clarify, since this is going to be the second video, and this one will actually be quite long, I will try to be quiet, and utterly quiet during cutscenes, dialogue, stuff like that. I'm going to let all of you guys try to read it, and for any bits of lore or character sheets that I get up that are new, in the bestiary and stuff like that, I'll try to linger on it for about a second, so you can pause it as soon as it comes up and just, read it in full if you want to. If you don't, I'll only be on it for a little bit, so you can just keep on with the video. Anyhow, let's actually jump into the game. Enough talking, and I'll see you guys there.
This bard's tale begins near White Orchard, with my dear friend Geralt of Rivia seeking his lover of yore, the sorceress Yennefer. She'd eluded him for years, but now seemed just a few steps ahead.
Alright, so we're picking off at the point where we've already done all of the main side quests that you can do towards the start without exploring all of the unknown areas, so we've just got the main quest right now. So we're gonna head there and continue that along so we can unlock the new area, and so we can go around freely without worry.
Medallion's humming. Place of power, it's gotta be.
Oh wait, had a really distinct dislike of raids. Like, I don't think there's any creature in the game that's more annoying than them. Noon wraiths and just regular old wraiths are really just tedious to kill. And their attack patterns are really boring. It's basically once they teleport in, get the fuck away from them. Don't play for about half or a second and a half to 2 seconds, and then just spam left click. Just not all that interesting. But in a pack, oh boy. There's something else to fight. Right, so we've already basically completed our skill tree, honestly, but most of the replacements are going to be over here in the sign area, because I'm trying to get rid of these. Obviously, you can see Yrden signs. They're alright as fillers, but Yrden is really good for fighting wraiths because it just negates a whole portion of the annoyingness of them, but ultimately we want to go for Axie intensity and possibly Pyromaniac, depending on what our gear looks like at the end. But you never really needed it with the Griffin set, but I'm trying something new, so I'm using the Wolfen set, so I might actually need to use it. Let's get this trash out of our inventory. And I think the best bet for points is probably we don't need Yrden. I'm saying we could probably look at another general point and not lose too much because we've already got so much blue, and we're going to be replacing one of the Yrden at some point. So I think since we don't use a lot of focus, it might be a good idea to make it so focus points increase sign intensity as well, because if you can see, we don't really consume focus anywhere except for our passive when we die, so it'd be nice to reward ourselves for not dying instead of just having a part of the game there and not using it at all. So we might go ahead and get that, but there might be something better. I doubt it though, because a lot of these are very utility based and they're oddball abilities. You could also get this because if you notice over here, I took an odd choice that I know not a lot of people take, but I went for potion tolerance, because the idea is if you stack that enough, you can just start drinking like 3 tonics, which tonics in this game, for those of you who don't know, basically give you really powerful abilities, but they give you permanent toxicity. So at the start it's almost impossible to use them because they basically make you just lose health and die and choke out on the ground, but later on, if you get enough perks, you can just drink like a whole bunch of them and nothing will happen. It's just you can't use more than like 1 or 2 normal potions before waiting a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't affect mutagen detoxion, so no, maybe that isn't a good choice. I think we're gonna wait and see, but I do know I did want Axie intensity, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a point in that. And for those of you wondering why you get Axie intensity at all, you're just like, oh, Axie, who uses that? It's really, really strong against people, especially late game, because eventually you stop getting the insta-kill ability, and that's because you're not scaling Axie or making it more powerful. If you do make it more powerful when fighting really, really, really strong enemies, especially when you're fighting like 8 of them, it's nice to occasionally get that insta-kill and outright take someone who's charging at you out of the battle. Which in Deathmarch you can't just have like 4 people wailing on you at once. Just 1 is enough to normally half health you if you're not careful. I believe that's underground, isn't it? So that's far, isn't it? Yep. Oh, I never like places like this. You know they're gonna be full of wraiths. This game really likes to jump scare you. Yeah. That's 1. Is that it? I keep forgetting this start of the game. It's not so bad. Just one little bugger. And he fled. Did he just run from me? Alright. That's not normal, I don't think. But I will take it. I'm not gonna complain. Guess he just saw me, he's like, well, you are not the starter character that we were supposed to meet in this programming. I'm not dealing with this.
Should draw from it.
Just gonna go ahead and leave and come back at a later level. I'll see you later. Good old-fashioned hanging. The best way to get people not to defy you. Until you hang too many of them, then you hang some more, and the system doesn't work. Medieval ages, my man. Oh, that's just wolves. That's easy. Oh, I'm so sorry, Roach. I did not mean to shove you into that. But, you'll live. Why am I not holding my sword? There we go. That's a bit awkward. No fire bombs. Oh, this is... Ooh. I just got... that sword bug really killed me there. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, so let's see if this guy runs from me, because last time he just ignored me. You alright, buddy? Why are you fleeing from me? Wait. No, this isn't 2. I don't have anything that can make them run. There we go. Maybe you should have run. I mean, would have been able to come back later when I least expected it. Instead, just got second thought again. More EXP for us. Let's just reloot all of this, which is a bummer, but there are worse fates. There are worse things that can happen in this game mode. Back out we go.
Place of power. It's gotta be. Faster.
Let's try not to suicide bomb Roach into poison and fail to draw our sword again like last time. Guys are relentless. That was a really weirdly angled egg. There was nothing in that direction. Gotta love it. Deathmarch, where even a pack of wolves can kill you. Oh, it's this guy again. I have to save after this, so this doesn't become repetitive. Get out of here. That's right, Yuli.
Medallion's humming. Place of power. It's
Let's
gotta
not
be.
be stingy. I'm just gonna use that swallow so that way I actually enter the battle with full health instead of gnawing on a chicken leg futilely.
Whoa! Oh, move it.
Let's see if we can kill these damn wolves. I'm not normally one to be cheap, but I don't have time for you guys right now. I don't even have my old silver and steel weapons because they leveled up with the new game plus difficulty. So I just found the nearest trash weapon I could pick up and I'm like, all right, this will do. Did it all once. I don't mind doing it all again. Oh Jesus. Okay, well there's an upgrade, though it's nothing compared to what I had before. Oh, I might want to get that treasure that I just killed them for. Alright, wolves are done. Nothing to see here. Got what we came for. Oh, is that the treasure? Just some dust? Oh well. See, how are we? Armor. It's pretty good. Oh, I need to get rid of that silver sword. That's gross to look at. Roach isn't gonna make it because, despite being a horse, he runs slower than Geralt does.
Barbarians. Heard of the Fryhead Brigade? Your kind, sir. Not here.
Come on, Roach. I call you and then you only show up to block the entrance.
Military camp. No locals allowed without the express consent of the garrison commander.
I look like a local to you?
You look like trouble.
Dead wrong. I make trouble go away. I'm a witcher.
A witcher? Captain Peter Sagwin Levy is in the tower. Turn right, past the gate.
Huh. You black ones aren't so scary after all. Can even be nice if you want to.
Don't get accustomed, Nordling.
To the tower. Go. Stop!
Password.
Dunno any.
So, out for a little walk, you, eh? Counting the Emperor's swords to lull you to sleep?
And thick-skulled quartermasters.
You're clearly skilled at banter. And haggling?
Show me what you're peddling.
Oh, I forgot how expensive Gwent cards are in this mod, Jesus. Do I get a new recipe or do I buy a single card? That's a bit brutal, but I'll catch up to the money I used to have. Jesus. I'll buy that card. Wait, what? Probably regret it later when I'm like 100 gold off from buying something, but...
Like you to...
Here, let's see if I can't replace this horrible weapon I have. Let's see, what's 34 at? Oh, but that's a Viper sword, so I don't have any of the... Ah, damn it. That one is too, damn it. Oh, so I can't get anything, really, except for maybe it's minimal upgrade, but it's not even, barely costs anything. Let's go ahead and sell the one I bought from him. Was that the one I bought from him? I just make something and sell it. Yes, I did. Ah. God damn it. Oh well. Off to a great start. Oh, I should drop that. I'm poor. God, I can't act like a champ anymore.
Show me.
Okay, let's get out of here. Bye, cringy quartermaster.
How much grain will your village give?
Whatever you say, Your Excellency.
Look at my hands. Look. See the calluses? These are not the hands of an excellency, but of a farmer. So we speak peasant to peasant. How much can you give?
40 bushels. There'd be more, sir, but our lads, the Temerians, that is, took from us earlier and...
You will give 30, and that will do. Let us settle on it, and I wish to see the transport soon.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly.
I summoned only the Elderman and the smith, Willis. But it is said he is a dwarf. You are too tall to be him.
Very perceptive of you. Geralt of Rivia, Witcher.
Vatgern. This explains why I did not hear your footsteps. What do you seek here?
Yennefer of Vengerberg. Where was she headed?
That is a military secret.
Haven't thrown me out yet. Haven't called the guards. So go ahead. What's your price?
There is a griffin in the area. Slay it, and then I shall see what I can do.
It's a deal. Some questions before I start. Know where the griffin has its lair?
It kept to the Vulpine Woods at first. I sent a patrol there, 5 young men. A hunter found them 2 days on. They only recognized them because they wore our plate. Since then, the griffin has grown bold. Attacks in villages, fields, on the main road.
Meaning it's abandoned its lair. Gonna have to set a trap.
I judge from your tone this will not be easy. What do you require?
I'll need bait. A specific herb. Buckthorn. Scent should lure the griffin from 10 miles off.
Buckthorn? I do not know this. But I am not yet fluent in the common tongue.
Probably mastered the basics, though. Hands up. Kill them.
No. First came idioms. Don't play with fire, for example. Go to Tomira, an herbalist. She lives near the crossroads. She will aid you.
Need more information about this griffin. Its sex. Why it's abandoned its lair.
Shall I bring you witnesses?
They won't say anything I don't already know. I need to go where your men died. Look around. What's the name of the hunter who found them?
Mislov. He has a hut south of the village, very near the wood. Helpful fellow. A little strange, though.
Tomira and...
Essun Yakten.
I do want to point out, what the Nilfgaardians did here is really ingenious. what they did is they sent someone like him, a farmer, someone who's really good at being cooperative and gives good morale, and they sent him first to, alongside other generals, of course, to basically not only weaken the land, but weaken the, I suppose, the loyalty of the people here. Because if you think about it, you know, when the invading land comes in, everyone's going to hate them no matter who they are. But if you send in people that'll eventually become liked, then your cause is going to be significantly less hindered in the future. And that was, I just want to point that out because I don't think a lot of people realize that when they play through this game or see it in a video, but that was a very genius move. And if you've noticed, they portray the black ones as a really cause for good towards the start. Both with Vesemir commenting on, you know, that they're going to bring order, and their actions showing that they put out justice and make sure that there's a law that's followed. But obviously later on in the game you see that their law is a bit brutal and they're not exactly the saints they make themselves out to be, but it's really smart that they at least sent the people who would make it seem like that first.
Must be out hunting.
Okay, let's get the hunter first.
Trail's fresh. Mislav just left home. You,
Tying a
Mislav.
shoe in the woods.
Hear that? Wolves? No. Wild dogs.
Yes. More dangerous than wolves.
Dogs more dangerous than wolves? Don't think so.
It's the truth. Know why?
No, but I guess you're about to tell me.
Wolves hunt to fill their bellies. Wild dogs kill for sport.
Just like humans.
Aye. They've learned much from us. Why not cruelty too?
I'm hunting bigger game. The Nilfgaardians the Griffin killed. Where'd you find them?
Ah, I see. You a witcher. That monster slayer they's talking about in the village. I'll show you, sure. But, I gotta kill those mutts before they hurt someone. Will you help? That is, if you don't mind blunting your silver blades on them.
Sure. Griffin's not going anywhere.
No. Dogs might, though. So step careful now. Come on.
These dogs been a problem for a while now.
Since the war started, soldier on the march, he'll stop to rape a woman, strangle her, kill her man for a chuckle, even butcher a cow. But a dog, a kick in passing, no more. So these stray mutts form packs. They're gaunt, guts stuck to their spines, covered in scabies, but they just won't die, because they're clever. More so than foxes. And too late. Attacked another one.
Need to back up. It was still alive. That deceptive health bar is really dangerous. Is that all of them? No, it's not. Just a single asshole in the back. Just sat there howling while all of his friends died. Suppose this is why you don't go into the woods barefoot with no weapons.
Dieter.
You know him?
We served at the Lord's Manor together, where the Black Army's encamped now. He was a stable hand, I was the Lord's hunter. But that was before... well, a long time ago.
Before what?
Before they drove me from the village.
What did you do?
Nothing. I'm a freak. Sorry. I'd rather not talk about it.
Yep. Say it to the guy with cat eyes and white skin who's outcasted by society.
I'm a freak too.
Aye, but of another kind.
If it's lycanthropy, I can help.
What?
Lycanthropy. Werewolves. Handled a few cases in the past. It's usually a simple curse that...
The Lord's son, Florian, and I... we loved each other. Dieter walked in on us in the stables. They drove me away. Florian hanged himself. Lord started drinking, and the estate fell into ruin. That's the long and short of it.
I'm sorry.
Ancient history now. I was to show you where I found the Nilfgaardians. Come.
Griffin, know anything about it?
Oh, not much. Not my kind of game.
You're his kind, though. Survival instincts alone ought to make you care.
I walk silent through the woods. No griffin can hear me nor spy me.
What is my horse doing here? Jesus Christ. I'll come along, I guess. And you find Roach in the weirdest of places, honestly. The top of a house is not the weirdest.
'Twas here. One lay there, by the stump, headless. The other hung from a branch, guts splayed, stretching down to... Watch out for yourself now.
I'll be fine. Not the first griffin I've dealt with. Not likely to be the last either.
Hope you're right. Good hunting now.
Ground's black, saturated with blood. A camp. Nilfgaardians were celebrating. Griffin interrupted them.
Come on.
These prints are older, and deeper, heavily armored. Nilfgaardians, probably. Griffin's nest. What remains of it, at least, is a couple of weeks old. Still alive when the Griffin brought him here. Took a long time dying. Bones. Horse. Dog. Human. A few months' worth. Female. Larvae in her wounds have already hatched. Been dead at least a week. Other Griffin must be a male. Thick shaft, dense barbs. A royal Griffin. Beak tips worn. Gray hairs in the coat. 10, 12 years old. Griffins pair off for life when young. Male must be about the same age. Deep cuts over the whole body. Not a drop of blood on the beak or claws. Didn't defend herself. Crept up on her while she slept. Explains why the male I ran into was so aggressive. Hunted the Nilfgaardians down here in the forest first, then started prowling the area.
Funny thing about this game is, even with things as simple as this, there's more like ambiguity. Like, Griffins are like malicious creatures, so you have to answer like the question like, are they even worth being pitied? But then you also have to you see what the Witcher sees, and you're like, oh well, they were lifelong mates since birth. Not only that, but his wife was killed in their sleep, and it was before they had their children. Like, it's kind of fucked, but then you remember, yeah, it's still a sadistic animal that likes to torture its prey before it kills it, so it's just... Even with this, there's really no right or wrong side. It's, you know, one evil or another. If even evil, because it's like, you know, Griffin wants to eat, but it's also, you know, a bit of an asshole, and the people who killed it, you know, may not have done it honorably, but I wouldn't do it with the Griffin either, you know, it's a giant monster. It's just interesting because it lays down that foundation of moral ambiguity really early on. It's just not something you realize when you're first playing it because you're focusing on just, you know, getting through. Jesus, I thought that was Roach again, appearing out of nowhere.
Bad time.
Not at all. Hand me the beggar tickets, the... Red bloom. Well, well, one versed in herbs.
Probably saying too much, but I know a bit. For instance, that beggar tick's poisonous.
In large doses. Small ones soothe pain and bring forth pleasant dreams. Which is all I can hope to do for her.
Griffin do that to her?
Delina. Yes. Attacked her at night. She was walking in the woods.
At night? Through the woods? In wartime?
Meeting a boy. The young, you know, do foolish things for love. Wounds are healing, but she will die. Blood's pooling in her skull. Nothing my brews can do to help.
Could try to help her with one of my potions. Swallow can heal internal hemorrhages.
But?
Witcher's potions aren't for humans.
She'll die as it is.
Yes. A peaceful death soothed by your concoctions. If I give her Swallow and something goes wrong, the whole village will hear her screams.
I understand. Do as you will.
Got a potion for Lena. Swallow.
First sign of spring. Symbol of rebirth. Fitting as names go.
We'll see. Like I said, could harm her. Deeply. Works on me immediately, but I have a faster metabolism. Effects won't appear in her case for a few days.
Why'd you choose this in the end?
Decided it was better than doing nothing.
I like you, Witcher. Here. A small gift. For giving a damn.
Looking for buckthorn. Know if it grows anywhere around here?
Bottom of the river, where the channel's widest. But you do know that once out of the water,
It'll stink worse than a week-old carcass. Counting on it. I'm hunting the griffin. Need the buckthorn for bait.
I was thinking, a few years ago we had trouble, drowners under the bridge. Whole village had to pitch in for a witcher. Who now can afford the bounty on a griffin's head?
Captain Peter Sars, something.
Ah, good to know the Black One's looking out for our welfare.
Nilfgaard values one thing. Order. Griffin's disturbing that. It's gotta go.
Yes. First they'll tend to the monsters, then to the folk.
Not from here, are you? A lot of bitterness in you. Too much for someone who spent her life in a hut in the middle of nowhere.
True. And you're in a hurry. Elsewise you'd not use bait, just wait for the griffin to attack again.
Believe we could have an interesting conversation.
Maybe next time.
Now, I know this is probably her life's work, but you know, I just need a few flowers, so I'm just gonna uproot a few of these plants by the root here and shove them in my pack, and I'll be on my way. Don't mind me. There we go, picked almost everything clean. Let's just get out of here. This is one of the few quests I
Lost
remember
your key,
fully.
ma'am?
No, not me key. Me pan. It always sat there empty, this hut. That is, till the night afore the battle. A man arrived, walked right in like 'twere his own. Standing at my window, peering at the goings on. 'Cause next I knew, there he was, coming my way. Grabbed me pan for protection, see? But he just asks all polite. Gran, got any birch bark by chance? Lilac berries or even a few coals?
I love how Geralt
Nay,
just backs
says
up
I.
awkwardly in the middle of this
Must be
conversation.
right daft to pester folk at night with such foolery. He sees he ain't listening. Just staring at me pan like a magpie at a copper. Lend it to me, Gran. I'll give it back come morn. He's right baffled for what's he doing, frying in the dark. But I've got a soft heart, so I gave it to him.
Fascinating story. Any chance you're nearing the end?
Before dawn, another rode up to the hut. But come morn, only the first fella left. Locked the door, hopped on his horse, and that were all I saw of him, and me pan. 'Twere old, black with sort, not worth much, I suppose, but I've no other. Will you help me, dearie? Bring an old widower pan.
Never taken on a pan contract. Fine, I'll go in, look around. You should wait here, just in case.
Not gonna lie, this is one of the first quests I ever did that I just contemplated not doing whatsoever. There is really no payoff for this quest beyond like a small handful of money. That's about it.
A corpse. Explains the stench. His throat. He was garroted. And some old scars. Kind of soldier might have.
What's that, dearie?
Nothing. Cracked monocle. Interesting.
But when I gab to myself, they say I'm going barmy.
Because you probably are a bit crazy, dear.
Documents. Almost entirely burnt. A few pieces still legible. priceless frying pan. Scrubbed clean. Looks like the mystery man didn't need the pan so much as the soot off it to make ink, write letters.
A lot cleverer than the old woman. Yes, I found it. Shut up, old lady. Take your damn pan.
Mine? But mine were black with soot. And I could see myself in this one if I wanted. But them years are past.
It was the soot the man needed. He scraped it off to make ink. Must have had an urgent letter to write. Urgently burned some other documents too.
And the other fellow?
Dead. Round up a few boys and bury him outside the village. Deep, so the necrophages don't dig him up. And take my advice. Don't mention this to the Nilfgaardians.
Hang about! You've earned a token of thanks. Here, sir, for the
You know, I would have just lost it if, as she said, a token of my thanks, and she just tried to sleep with Geralt like 90% of the other females in this game. I would have just immediately backed off. Just like, this is not the reward I was expecting. Right, now to go kill that griffin.
Done all I could. Should talk to Vesemir.
Just gonna munch on a bit of raw meat to quell the anxiety. There's nothing a bit of just randomly ripped off flesh won't heal. So after we're done here, we're probably going to just finish up all of the question marks marked on the map and just explore everything, and then we'll head to the main part of the game. So I have no interest of staying in this area longer than I really need to.
Freak.
Good man. Whose field is that the other side of the river?
By the wood. Boy in Climmix. Good lad, Master Witcher. Though he...
Yes. This boy. Will he venture out to inspect his grain anytime soon?
What for? Harvest is a long way off yet.
Yes? What is it, Wolf?
Got good news and bad news. Good news first. Captain of a Nilfgaardian garrison knows where Yennefer went.
And the bad's that we have to kill the griffin for him. What else could he want from two witchers? Go on. Tell me what you know.
Griffin's abandoned its lair. Gotta make a lure, set a trap.
And how's that going?
Learned some things. It's a male, had its nest in the Vulpine Woods. The Nilfgaardians burned the woods down, killed its mate, smashed their eggs. Thought they'd fixed things.
It's always the same. Instead of sending for a professional, they try to do it themselves, only end up making matters worse.
Got the buckthorn.
Ought to work like a charm. Powerful scent.
More like stench.
City boy. Rotting meat, manure, piss. Standard smells of the countryside. Remember Tredegor? Hunting that Zoogle in the trash heap? You spent half the next day bathing, scrubbing yourself.
How can I forget? You ever gonna stop bringing that up?
Fine. If everything's ready, say the word and we'll get to work.
I'm ready. No point in waiting. Let's find a good spot to ambush it.
Picked one out already. Other side of the stream. There's fields and a grove. Plenty of room and far enough so no one will get in our way.
Good. Meet you there.
There's a yonder.
Greetings.
Let me have a look at your stock. Take care.
What did the folk do?
Freak.
stream, amber waves of grain. Charming place. Perfect for an ambush.
I know how to choose 'em. So, ready?
Let's start. Wind's good. Bait's scent will spread quickly.
Now all we have to do is wait. Come on. We can cower in the shade of those birches.
So tell me, once we find Yennefer, what'll you do? Got your eye on a contract?
No. I'll go to Kaer Morhen.
Little early to settle in for the winter.
Snows are a way off, yes. And that's what worries me. Nilfgaard's crossed the Pontar in the east. Puts them maybe a week's march from Kaer Morhen. If they reach the valley before snows can cover the passes, well, we need to cover our tracks, hide our paths. Speaking of winter and wintering, think you'll come this year?
Maybe. Might bring a guest.
Hear that? It's close.
Let's go give it a warm welcome.
Wait. Take this.
A crossbow.
Won it in a card game while you ran around. Might come in handy.
How about that? Always lectured us on the evils, but you're a gambler yourself.
Stop talking. Got a griffin to kill.
Jesus, was that Roach in the cutscene? Is he just standing? Yes! He's just standing in the middle of the field. Genius idea, Roach. As per usual. I expect nothing less from you.
It's about to dive. Damn! It's fast! Don't let it get away!
Come on, Roach. Run faster than me for this one time at least. Jesus Christ.
Whoa!
Roach, you embarrass me. But I still love you. die. What? Stop, don't run. Just please, make this easy on all of us. Are you... Die. Should have just kept swinging.
Not bad. Not bad. Though you could stand to improve some things.
You know, that is actually accurate this time around, Vesemir.
For example?
Upward vertical strike. It's too obvious. But more on that later. Take the Griffin's head to the Black Ones. I'll ready our horses. Meet me at the inn.
Medallion's humming. Place of power. It's gotta be.
The Emperor shall guide us straight to know.
What the hell is this?
Right.
You take me for a blind man or a fool? This grain is rotten.
I didn't know.
So, a fool. Damn it, you never learn. Military Codex, Article 2, Section 3. For the delivery of defective goods, 15 lashes with a knout. Make it so.
No, no, no! By the gods, no!
What?
Guess you've dropped your good uncle act.
It was no act. I extended a hand to these people. They spat on it.
Could it be because it held the sword that killed their loved ones?
Tja, a moralist. And what would you do in my stead?
Wouldn't ever be in your stead.
Tell me why you've come.
Fulfilled my end of the bargain. Your turn. Where'd Yennefer go?
To Vizima.
She was a day's ride from here the whole time? Under my nose? Might have said so.
Yes, I might have. But you would not have killed the Griffin. Tit for tat. Halt! We are not done. It's yours, this gold. I would not want you to say you were inadequately compensated.
No more. Please, no more.
I wonder if there's a way to get in there.
Please.
I doubt there's just a key lying around.
No more. Please, no more.
Oh well. Enjoy your whip.
No more. Please, no more.
Really? I haven't found this before, Jesus. Well, you know what they do on their off time. Apparently I cannot get up a small rock.
What do you want?
You always wear tight trousers.
Shitting up knuckle. May the sun shine upon you.
My gran told me about Smith's boy. Lad went missing. Folk nagged a witchman that was hunting nearby. Started poking him, asking. So he started twisting and squirming, so wham bam, they knocked his head off. Aye, so it were. They sent him to some drown.
Yennefer's in Vizima. Got a few friends there, so... Something wrong?
Look around. Trouble brewing.
Who are they?
Patriots. Drinking their 7th round for Temeria. Fist starting to itch.
Don't see any Nilfgaardians.
They'll find another foe. I'll buy some provisions for the journey. Then we'll go. Geralt, we should stay out of it. Just this once.
What happened to the lilies?
Took him down.
Took them down to hang a golden sun there now.
I cannot show Temerian colours. They'll come and burn the tavern down.
Maybe it's true what they say. You fond of the Imperials? You Nilfgaard's whore?
I'll let that pass. I know grief eats at your heart.
You know shit. They hanged my sister, dragged her out the cloister like a dog. Said Nilfgaard's no place for superstition, that they don't fear the wrath of the gods. And you, do you fear it? If not for Annie, your child would have choked on its navel string. You owe your son to my sister attending to the birth, and you don't fear the gods' wrath. You don't fear it, you cunt! Leave me be!
Just this once, eh, Vesemir?
Recognize this medallion? You know what it means. Back off.
You alright?
They say witches steal young'uns. That true? What the Emperor promised you freaks? Your own land? Like he did the elves once?
Get out, all of you.
We ain't going nowhere. And neither are you.
They won't back down now.
I can see that.
Fine with me.
It's alright. It's over.
Leave me be! Get away!
See his face! God save us!
Be gone, and don't ever come back.
So much for not getting involved. Come on, let's go.
That brawl, we didn't start it.
Excuses, excuses. You've not changed a bit.
Yen? How?
I received a report about a witcher who'd appeared in White Orchard. I knew it was you, looking for me. I might have waited until you found me, but... well, you know me. Patience has never been my strong suit. It's... good to see you, Geralt. I'd even embrace you. Were you not covered in blood?
Sorry. Wasn't expecting to see you. To be honest, this isn't at all how I imagined we'd meet.
How did you imagine it?
You didn't imagine you'd have a Nilfgaardian escort. Don't get me wrong, Yennefer. I'm glad to see you. But I do think you owe us an explanation.
And I shall provide it. In Vizima. Ready your horses.
Spent the last 6 months in the saddle. Haven't seen you for 2 years. Can't we take a moment to...
Sadly, we cannot. Someone awaits you, Geralt. Someone who doesn't like to be kept waiting. Emperor Emir var Emrys. Or, to those on more intimate terms with him, the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes.
Doubt I number among that group. Far as I remember, last time we saw each other, he wanted to kill me.
Well, now he wishes to make you an offer.
The kind one can't refuse?
I didn't, though I could have.
Fine. Guess I'm willing to hear him out.
The Emperor of Nilfgaard, Lord of Metina, Ebbing and Gamera, Sovereign of Nazaire and Vicovaro will feel honored, I'm sure.
What about you?
I'm going in the opposite direction. I somehow doubt the Emperor's invitation mentioned me. Besides, I've got things to do at Kaer Morhen, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Thanks for your help, Vesemir. See you soon.
How's your horse? Swift?
Can't complain. Why do you ask?
I'd like to be back behind some thick city walls as soon as possible.
Recently.
Knowing you, it was probably filthy.
Just the beginning. But then...
But then?
This bard's tale begins near White Orchard, with my dear friend Geralt of Rivia seeking his lover of yore, the sorceress Yennefer. She'd eluded him for years, but now seemed just a few steps ahead. After many trials and tribulations, Geralt finally learned that Yen was in nearby Vizima.
It must suffice.
Thinkamere cares if I'm clean.
The gentleman will refer to His Imperial Majesty by his full title or not at all. The gentleman will be seated on the bergère.
The what now?
In that chair. Catwin, please shave the gentleman's sideburns to half an inch.
What's wrong with my beard? Always thought it added to my dignity.
It does. Yet it also detracts from your elegance. In Nilfgaard, we consider beards hard on the eyes. Especially beards infested with lice.
Been on the road a while. Fine, do your thing.
Tilt your head back, please, and sit still.
How goes it? Preparations for the audience proceedings planned?
Yes, General. The gentleman will be more or less presentable.
Who's this guy? He a barber too?
No. Morvran Voris, commander of the Alba Division. Yennefer's escort. They were my men. All of them. Indeed, were. For none have returned to Vizima, have they? I truly wonder what happened on the road yesterday. Perhaps you could enlighten me. You have time. And a razor to your throat.
Wild Hunt killed them.
A cavalcade of wraiths dashing across the night sky. These omens of war the peasantry bubbles about. Expect me to believe that.
Frankly, I don't really give a damn.
Nordlings. We can bathe you, shave you, and clothe you, but teaching you manners, that will be a challenge.
Nice meeting you too.
Done. Shall I shave him once more, against the grain?
No. He himself is very much against the grain. That's enough. Farewell, Witcher. Or rather, see you soon.
Good. Now the gentleman may dress. Sadly, I did not receive exact measurements. If the garments chafe, our tailor will adjust them.
Where are my clothes?
Where they should have gone long ago, with the laundress. They will be returned to you after the audience, clean and starched. The gentleman will tell me once he has chosen an outfit.
Time to look like a doll. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I definitely fit into the setting. we're gonna go ahead and stop here and continue the audience with Emir after this, so I'll talk to you guys all later. This will be uploaded to YouTube, as with the other one, and all ones in the future will as well, so that should be up in a bit. But for now, this should be the end of the Twitch, and all the content I'll be producing for the next hour or two, more than likely, so if you want to watch it again, or look at it in probably better detail, just go to YouTube.